Hi, welcome. Come on in, have a seat. We're going to do a general seance message. I'll put the links below if you'd like to support. We're going to start with some scrolls. You know, I like my ink to ignite that meditative state. So if you're ready and you'd like to join me, we'll close the eyes, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. And we're here for anyone who's decided to join me. Thank you. Links below to help a gal grow. And these are the scrolls I have rolled up that will begin our message. All right. Let's dig in here. I should get my little rocks out. It's all right. If I may. There's an emotional blooming, and it's happening in the solar plexus space. So perhaps if you've decided to have a seat with me, you can resonate with this. There's definitely a blooming, like this is a whole butterfly feeling the way I'm seeing it, and I'm not actually sure I've ever seen it in this scroll before. But it feels like it's coming out of a perfume bottle, so there could be a feminine spirit around, and we'll find out the more we go along. I'm definitely getting those ant vibes, like an auntie or something like that. If you've lost a relative, but there's something so blissfully happy in the solar plexus. There's something helping with vitality. I'm going to add on a conscious card here from the EC deck. I'll put the link below if you're interested to really wander into that interconnected introspection, interrelations. And we have what I see as the artistry as rose quartz, and the question: describe your personality in 3 words. Okay, so this could be a spirit and or yourself. Please contemplate that question accordingly. But what I'm gathering here in regards to the reading is somebody with personality. You've got personality walk, a personality talk. I believe we're heading into the pre-con. Yep, pre-con realm. Little inspiration here in this whole butterfly feeling. What's going on? We've got 2. Can you articulate the difference between coping mechanism and defense mechanism? Backed by what type of advice are you known to give out to people? And what do people come to you for? So there are the 2 questions, and the artistry is on the back, again, to help ignite that meditative state while contemplating. So, oh, my nose is getting itchy. Okay, so Spirit's definitely around. There might have been this auntie or woman in spirit, perhaps even yourself if you're resonating, being living or non-living, nurturing or interconnected nature, to heed and feel those messages. They might have had a coping mechanism or an addiction or something along that lines, and when they were incarnate, you recognize that, and maybe you were met with their defense mechanism a lot, and you tried or gave this person advice. Whether or not they heeded it, I believe they really did try to. They heard you. They were so grateful that the message, that you cared enough to say something if you were uncomfortable, because it appeared through their coping mechanism that they were uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Okay, we're in the solar plexus area here. 2 again. There's the artistry, so beautiful. And the questions in the subconscious realm. What is the bravest thing you have done for yourself? And is your personality similar to the people who raised you? Okay, so I'm fascinated by these messages wandering through the realms, because we've started with personality and conscious, and we've ended with personality in subcon. So it feels like there's an opportunity, the spirit stepping forward in this blooming, like coming out of a perfume bottle, and then the aroma can really come out, like Does that make sense? Like you can see an oil or a perfume in a bottle and it's contained and it's beautiful, but you really don't get to really enjoy it until you open it up and add air, add space to it. And I think who the spirit is and what I'm sensing is that they've done their bravery. Like what they went through was very brave. They had to overcome some things in perhaps the most recent incarnation. And you can resonate with that. I have a fly around here, sorry. It just happens with the old wood and with a wood stove. And is your personality similar to the people who raised you? This is somebody in family. This is somebody in close relation to your lineage, perhaps. And maybe your personalities were similar, but you went about things different ways. It really feels, where am I going? Thank you. It really feels like they're stepping forward to say, I understand. And they've reached another place in their existence. Okay, so this is what it feels like. If at any point in time you might have felt that they were earthbound for any sufferings that they might have went through, right? Through the coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms to survive, thrive. But it feels more survival. Now they're in thrival. Now they are thriving in the spirit realm, emotionally and ethereally. They are not coming back, but it's like they're coming back from the highest place. Like they have gone to the light and met the pieces of themselves that understands all these mechanisms and how they use them to their advantage, even though it appears in the lifetime they were disadvantages. Does that make sense? Okay, moving on here. Thank you. Change and development. They've changed. They've changed in spirit form. This is what they've done. The work doesn't end just because they passed on. That's an illusion. They were met by more of an essence, 33 master number. I feel like this feminine energy, and it doesn't have to be, but it feels more feminine in nature, that whatever they had been through, when they passed, it wasn't the end. They were able to move through their illusions. And I think this took a little bit more time than maybe they wanted. But, okay, so the way I'm seeing it is the reflection that during, say, lifetime, and it was 60, 70, 80 years old, and it seems like a long time. It feels like a long time, but it's not a long time. And maybe they've been passed for 10, 15, 20 years. What they've done in that time frame, because time works differently, the change has happened. They've been through the transformation of any conflicts that they had. They did their work. Their personality is intact. Like if they had traits about them, it's like their personality is just simply, oh, my words are fleeting my tongue, because it's not necessarily the analogy they would be using, but it's the one I'm going to use. So like an artist with a blank canvas, and there's personality in the painting one way or the other. So even though they are maybe adopting a new medium through their multidimensional nature, through their healing, you can still sense the personality in their painting, of their presence when they're around you. It just may feel a little different. So if you've been having a spirit around you and you're like, I feel like this is my mom, or this is my auntie, or my grandmother, this, that, or the other, but they feel a little different, maybe a little calmer. They've done the work. Door to spirit. Sorry about the lighting. It's not my immediate concern. And there's the like very yellowy. I'm not going to constipate myself in getting them in order here. Somebody's receiving, like they're coming in to visit now that they've healed this portion of themselves, almost like to help if the grieving process is still going on. Never ending love, always in a state of love, but they're coming back. It's like there might have been a lull where their presence wasn't really felt, and it wasn't because they left you, it wasn't because they weren't around. They were doing their work. And now it's like they're coming back. They were doing their work. They took their own temple path. They understood how to transform their own conflicts from the most recent incarnation, but I feel like there was like a trickle from other incarnations. They had a lot of help from their own guides. I don't know if that, whether or not they had another feminine in spirit waiting for them, but they were working with them and they're primarily in their sacral chakra. So really in that space, and that's kind of the aura they're bringing to you now if you're sensing them. Like maybe you always felt them in the root because they're family and it's your bloodline and it's, love, or maybe it was a partner and it's romantic and they're part of your stability, your foundation. And now they've elevated to work in the sacral energy, like a rebirthing. It's really quite lovely. They had so many people helping them. And I don't mean so many people like they needed so much help. I can see all these different paths that lead to the same thing. And they chose very, very wisely and have closed out a cycle. Okay, we have lots coming out here. Okay, wide open and field of dreams. I will figure out the lightning one day. Wide open and field of dreams. How beautiful is that? They chose the paths, different pieces to get to their temple path to feel free again as a spirit. Treasure, protecting treasure, and coming together. This is them revisiting you. This is if you have felt that there's been a void in them coming forward. Or where have you been? I haven't felt your presence for so long. They were just doing their thing is how it feels. They knew that the apparent absence, because there's always an aspect remaining, right, in love. There's always a vibration in the silver cord of connection, let's say. And they knew that by traveling afar, like you were going to school afar or abroad, they would come back and be able to interact at not only a higher frequency, but add to your life, your current incarnation. They would be able to add more vitality to it. Okay, what do we have here? Going beyond normal. I'm just going to put those up there. In the world, not of the world. Yeah, they're in. They've gone beyond their normal of what you may have remembered them to be when you reflect upon their life and of what they may have gone through, coming back to the coping and defense mechanisms and the advice. Maybe they were in therapy, or maybe you tried to urge them to go there, one way or the other. But they have gone beyond even what they may have planted for their personality as normal. And they chose the temple path. They are completely free and wide open now. Whatever sufferings happened that we might remember very consciously, they are free from those. In the world and not of the world and coming together, they're visiting. They're coming back. They're visiting. I don't know how else to say it. These two giraffes are kissing here. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you the finger with the stork. So this is definitely bringing in that new birth of them. Like they're excited to present their bravery, what they've done, and visit you in this. Oh, it feels so nice. Drafts may also mean something to someone. What do you feel in spirals of manifestation? So when you feel them, and we were talking about that, when you feel them around, their frequency or vibration might feel slightly different, but they are the personality. They are the person that you knew and loved and still know and love. They're just simply still transforming, just like being alive, right? You have different experiences, and it doesn't change you. It just adds to the wonder that we are. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, let's see in the Feng Shui cards if there's a particular space, something about the desk or your office. If you have an office space or a desk space, they might really be working with you there, or it might be the first place that they come to interact with you. And I'm seeing somebody at their desk and they're focused and they're doing something, or possibly constipated if you're working, and then they're like standing right around here. So you might notice them in your peripheral. Oh, we have lots more coming through. Secondary entrances, color, and the center. So this makes me feel like if they always interacted with you prior in this one way, heartbreak to heartbreak, like that's how the attraction was. You were feeling heartbreak and grief. They were feeling heartbreak and grief. It's like they went off to healing school or something along that lines, the temple path. That's clearly what came through. Same with you. You've been doing your work, taking your steps in your different temple paths. And they're coming together. You guys are coming together and interacting now in this secondary entrance through the subconscious realm. It's like now it's happening at a deeper level. This connection can happen at a deeper level because it's no longer heartbreak to heartbreak. It might be heartbreak to healing, or it could be long-term grief that has subsided in its chargedness, and now this person comes forward to help kind of nudge that last little bit to say, I was right there too, and I want to be here with you when we can transform this together and raise. Does that make sense? I feel like I might be butchering that, but I apologize. It's very helpful, and it could even be reversed. And then we have here color and center, C's. C's could be the beginning of the name or a nickname or something like that. And when we were talking about the peripheral, you might see like colored orbs, or if they had a favorite color, it'll be enhanced by that. Again, I think it was more of a red before in the way the color was felt or tasted. So I'm talking about the more of the psychic senses versus the tangible senses. And it's moving into orange and yellow. Yellow quite specifically, but also acknowledging orange. And then in the center, it's all coming together. I feel like that's the message here. The spirit is saying everything came together. Everything came together. I do want to add on one more card here. And it's I know typically in these general messages I get very emotional, but this feels like a whole rebirth of coming together. Magical map shifter. This is what has happened. Oh my goodness. For heavens and hot dogs. Okay, we'll just trust. Thank you. We'll just trust. They have shifted their map of their own perception of themselves. And they are coming back to elevate not only the loved ones in the family, but with friends, and just sharing that by floating around and being spirit, being a part of the spirit collective. And they have made, okay, well, you know, the lighting is not my immediate concern, but they have made, if you can see that, no, it's not coming through. It says commitment. They have made a commitment to a higher vibration of love for themselves as they are in spirit, and now that's what they're sharing. And it really is, they've become a master. And on the bottom we have here is spirit of place. They are with you. They are with you in your home. They are with you in your heart. And please know that as you feel that, everything's being elevated. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this served you well. And it was kind of exciting. Normally it's very, you know, emotional. And I'm grateful for this very positive message that living never ends. Learning never ends. It's this continuous evolution. And this spirit, and whatever personality stands out, right? If you could name 3 personality traits of this person, this feminine energy that stands out to you, and, you know, can reflect upon their mechanisms from your perspective, and realize that what is the bravest thing they have done for themselves? They have decided to meet their mechanisms in the multidimensional realm and magically shift everything, and come together with a commitment to raise the spirit of the place, your person, your personality, and build a new foundation from this space. All right. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.